Maiden, mother, master on a mission. 3 and 1 playing my position. Bypassed queen a long time ago. Spiritual gangster, I was born woke. Born woke, born woke. Spiritual gangster, I was born woke. Born woke, hey, born woke. Spiritual gangster, born woke. Greetings, my lovelies. It's a beautiful day in the A. Today, I have my latte. I just got back from Starbucks. And no, they're not a sponsor yet, but goodness gracious, I visit them every day to get my green tea latte. And it is delicious. That is me taking a sip of it. Fantastic. And it's just, I'm excited. This whole podcast energy is so much fun so far, and I love things that are fun. Episode 1, of course, was a bit of a downer, if you view it that way, but to me, not, because there's always a silver lining. There's always something beautiful to find in every scenario, in every situation, in every circumstance. It's not always easy to find that beautiful thing, but it's always there, and we just need to look beneath the surface for the silver lining, or in the cloud for the silver lining. Go deeply into the cloud. Up above it, the sun is shining if you're flying, right? Oh, wow, that was new. Speaking of clouds, I saw the most beautiful angel artistry in the sky while driving today. It was like, it was gorgeous. And I had Sage in the car with me. And he said, Sage is my son, look at the sky. And I looked, and it was absolutely magnificent. And I like to, in my own little twisted mind, envision angels just painting on a canvas when there's an especially beautiful sunset. I mean, they're all beautiful, but sometimes the clouds have these shades of pink and purple, and the golden orange hues of the sun are shining through, and it's just magnificent. It's beyond the normal. It's beyond everyday beauty. It's like extra, extra beautiful. So that's what it was like today. This dawning was incredible. It was like a beautiful greeting. Great rising. Enjoy and embrace this day. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm sitting here in the Merkaba. And I am not having a guest today. But I am going to take a few moments to talk about something that's on my mind today. I will be having guests, and I will be having lively debates, because I'm a polemicist. I love to debate. I love to banter back and forth with ideas. Some people just don't like that. They see it as confrontation. They see it as conflict, and they're just not into it. But then there are those who are into it and who have a definite viewpoint, and they really want to share that idea, and they really want to get you to think the way they do, if at all possible. And so I love running across people like that, because I'm that kind of person, and I really like to share what I feel about a topic, because usually I've thought through it very deeply and conscientiously, and so I really want to share what I feel, why I feel this way, why I'm so passionate about it. And I love it when other people are the same way. And so we go back and forth, and there's no meanness in the conversation. There's just a healthy banter of ideas. And it is like the most enlivening thing for me. I absolutely love it. Thrive on it. Totally enjoy it. So today I'm having a one-sided version of that. But I will attempt to sort of address the other side as well. I'm calling this episode Religuality. 10 years ago, the wonderful Bill Maher did a film called Religulous. And in it, he explored the ridiculousness, because it was a combination of religion and ridiculous, the ridiculousness of religion and a belief in God from his perspective. I couldn't disagree with him more about our loving creator. I don't believe that there's some big white man in the sky with a long beard who's orchestrating everything. That's not my concept of God. Never has been. I don't believe in that mean guy in the Old Testament who was vengeful and narcissistic and really mean-spirited and harsh. I do believe he was a God, but I don't believe he was the supreme loving creator who created all of existence. Everything, things we've seen, things we have no idea about, other planets, other galaxies, other universes. So, yes, I feel that none of this could exist in the synchronous, sort of organized way that it all exists without a consciousness, an intellectual, loving consciousness that created it all. And possibly co-created it all with other creators. Yet there was a mastermind in the situation. And I also feel that mastermind had a mother. And so there was a she in the mix as well, as evidenced by the inability for almost anything to create or duplicate itself without a mother energy. So that brings me to my first problem with religion. Religion has taken out the female presence. The only really traditional religion that still includes a female essence, a female principle, is Catholicism, which of course they were the original Christians, and they still hold Mary in high enough regard that they pray to her, which makes her a goddess. I agree with that. They, hold on, I'm taking another sip. Delicious. They do revere the feminine essence. And it gets a little warped when they're like talking about the virgin birth but theoretically that kind of happened because the mother of God who birthed the consciousness that I feel is our loving creator had no mate. And so that is, again, a way of paying reverence and homage to the goddess, the mother of all. And so I like Catholicism for that reason. Growing up, I was exposed to two forms of Christianity. The Baptist church, where I went and sang in the choir and visited every Sunday. I was dragged there every Sunday by my family. And I went to Catholic school. So I was attending Mass and learning about the New Testament in great depth, actually, and having lots of awesome theological discussions as even a small child. So that sort of sent me on a path of realizing they're coming from the same book, but it's like night and day. The way they're teaching this, what they're teaching. Let me see if I can find out what's really the truth. So long story short, that sent me on a path of studying every earth religion, from Islam to Hinduism, Buddhism, transcendental meditation, which isn't really a religion, but, kind of is, Rastafari. Oh my gosh. I studied them all. And when I say studied, I really went in. I did everything except take the final step to becoming a member of that religion. I studied the Torah, which is basically just the Old Testament. As I studied Judaism, I went deep into the Quran. When I studied Islam, I studied the Bhagavad Gita, as it's the holy book of the Buddhists and kind of Hindu as well. I read what I consider the Hindu Bible, the autobiography of a yogi, multiple times. Love that book by Paramahansa Yogananda. So I just went all the way in. And what I found at the core of every religion, first of all, if you live the law of love, you are in divine alignment with every single earth religion. They all have somewhere in their credo, love others as you love yourself. Treat others the way you yourself would want to be treated. What I also found, though, is that religion at its core has a tendency to divide. And spirituality at its core has a tendency to unite. When a religion says you have to be a part of our way of thinking in order to be quote unquote saved, or in order to be, living righteously, or in order to get to heaven, or whatever the prize or reward is, it's forcing people to think a certain way and shunning those who don't think that way. I find that to be fundamentally out of alignment with our loving Creator, because our loving Creator accepts all. Our loving Creator loves the pedophile as much as the priest, and the murderer as much as the mother. So when we choose to put these obstacles, judgments in place, or demands really of a spirit, of a soul, and tell them you can't be righteous unless you think the way we think, that's a problem. And that's always been a problem for me. And that is what made me personally turn my back on religion. Religion had a way of creating separation and creating judgments and creating guilt and creating regret and creating shame. And those are very uncomfortable feelings and emotions. And life basically boils down to, in my viewpoint, love versus fear. And you're either feeling and vibrating with love, or you're feeling and vibrating with fear. And they both serve a purpose. However, one feels good, the other must be pushed past in order to feel good. So I use the term religiality to describe those of us who started with a religious foundation and then rejected that foundation for whatever reason and embraced spirituality. Some people reject religion completely and embrace spirituality. Some people are like me and they go deeper into religion before fully embracing spirituality. Some of the religions of the earth stayed with me. I took pieces and have kept those pieces. Wicca, paganism, the things that align us with the earth and with the seasons and with the moods and movements of the waves, of the tides, of the moon, the planets, nature. I vibrate with those. They are very healthy to me. It's like the animals. You never see animals getting caught up in a tsunami or tornado because they know how to dip. they know how to dip on these fools and go en masse somewhere safe. So I do definitely harmonize with nature and the oneness of all in terms of that on the planet. Rastafari was something that I held to be endearing with the ganja, you know. Though I do not smoke. I really don't align well with hero worship and worshiping of humans. The brother Haile Selassie was truly a noble brother, an amazing king, and incredible warrior. However, he is not my Messiah, my master, someone to be prayed to or worshipped. Just as Christ, Yeshua, is not someone to be worshipped because he himself did not worship himself. He was very clear in worshiping our loving Creator, who he called his Father, and who, in my viewpoint, does express as a masculine energy. The other Christians lost me because there can never be a father and a son with no mother. Where does that exist in nature? I've never seen it. And the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, I guess that's supposed to be the mother, and you know, she's a ghost or something. I don't know, but I think it introduced patriarchy in very brutal fashion early in its awakening, and I have absolutely zero tolerance for that. I do feel that there is a mother of God from which all of creation emerged, and I do feel that there is a consciousness there that is a goddess presence. So I have kept that. And, you know, I've just sort of pieced together my own hodgepodge of core principles that make up my religion. And religion, the word broken down, means way of life. So my way of life is living the law of love, treating all in the way that I would want to be treated, loving all, and for me, loving means accepting all for exactly who they are without attempting to change them or adjust them in any way. And just going through life spreading loving light and joy and peace and bliss and all the good things. Seeking to embody that in my presence and cultivate that within my body temple, treating my body with the utmost respect in terms of what I put in it and in terms of what I do with it, and understanding that I am a soul united with a spirit inhabiting a body, and that all three are energy, and the energy that we are is a oneness that is ever renewing, everlasting, ever regenerating. And that is what makes me also an immortalist. So it can seem a little complicated, but for me it's very simple. We are one. Love is all. Loving light. Live that. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. That's the core of what I choose to embody, and what I choose to spread on this beautiful planet as I walk it. That's all for today. I want to invite you to correspond with me. Give me your feedback, share. I'm truly interested, very curious. This podcast is now on iTunes, yay. And subscribe by all means subscribe, because that's when that's how you can find out that a new episode is up and ready. I intend to be on Stitcher and other streaming platforms for podcasts. Please feel free to share. And I love debate, so if you feel completely differently, by all means, hit me up. Let's go back and forth about it. I stand in mine, so I'm. If you stand in yours, we can definitely have a lively discussion. You can find out more about me and follow the goings on at deannadawn.com. That's DeannadaWN.com. You can subscribe, follow. I'm on Twitter at DeannaDawn. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I am Deanna Dawn. You can Google me to find out other things, go down other rabbit holes if you like, in terms of art and offerings. And this podcast is a journey. It's gonna be something everlasting, definitely, because it is very cathartic for me. Not to sound so selfish, but hopefully it can be cathartic for you too. There's a lot of good renewal in conversation and in talking things through, whether with yourself or with others. My desire is to soothe and share, enlighten, and renew, and always, always, always spread love. So I love you all, each and every one of you. Always have, always will. And I'll see you next time. Peace and blessings.
A little girl who was afraid to achieve, so optimistic, full of possibility, but scared to bring it 'cause she was